Hey, I'm Alex.
And I'm Harlie.
This is Should You Need Us, your cosmic invitation to the absurd, the obscure, and the astonishingly weird.
Let the oddities begin. Welcome back. Cheers.
Cheers.
With our pumpkin spice espresso martinis. You notice how I said espresso?
Good job, Harlie. You know what? I'm not here to police your language. I love everything about you. I love the way you talk.
My little quirks.
Yeah, what word did I say last night? I made up a new one. Oh, it was like miraculously, but like mixed with another word. God damn it, I can't remember now. But it was definitely a fake word. But, you know, everyone knows what we're talking about. You guys get it.
Yeah. When I was at work yesterday, I was like organizing some stuff with my boss, and I was just like, man, this, like, I put up a shelf, and I was like, the shelf is just going to be cattywampus. And she looked at me and she was like, what? What did you just say? And I said, cattywampus? She'd never heard of that word.
Cattywampus is a rarely used word.
It's a good one. I was like, my grandma used to say it all the time. Maybe she made it up. She had a lot of made up words. She always used to say shit-a-rooster and damn Sam. And
Grandma Julie?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's out of character for some reason. I didn't expect her to like make up swear words.
Yeah, well, she told me once that if you add like a name or an animal to the end of a swear word, then it's not a swear word anymore, so you can say it. So she was fine with me saying like shit-a-rooster and damn Sam.
Damn Sam, shit-a-rooster, fuck a duck.
Fuck a duck. Yeah.
You're not swearing if you just add an animal to it. I'm not going to say the other rhymes that go with that little poem.
Oh.
Not doing it.
Okay, fine. Maybe once we get a Patreon going, that will be a Patreon.
I'll be on the Patreon. Yeah, I already say too many nasty things that can be recorded and used against me.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, welcome to episode 5.
Hi, y'all.
This is super exciting.
Happy spooky season. We're keeping the spooky vibes going.
Yeah,
all of October.
After today's episode, I'm going to be taking Alex on a little field trip.
We're excited.
Mm-hmm. But I also just want to do some shout outs to some wonderful listeners that have given us very good compliments. I want to say my cousin Ella said that podcast makes her so happy. Nicole said it was cozy.
Aww.
Camille said Riot Dogs is exactly what I needed this morning. So if you haven't listened to Riot Dogs yet, according to Camille, it might be exactly what you need in the morning.
It's a good way to start your day. Mm-hmm. Remembering that animals love us and hate cops just as much as we do.
And then my mother-in-law, Juana, she said, you guys made me laugh yesterday while I was cleaning. And then my mother, Erin, according to her, this podcast is approved by her dog. So it's Doug approved.
Doug approved. Mm-hmm. Doug thought we were in the room with him.
Yes, he got really confused and was running around the house looking for us because she was listening to it.
We've heard from a few people that it sounds like we're in the room with you, and that's exactly what we intended. Yeah. We're all just hanging out.
We are just having a grand old time telling weird stories, learning new fun things, saying words wrong.
Yeah, saying words wrong, sometimes getting our facts wrong, but that's okay. I believe last week I called Jake the alligator man the lizard boy. But you know, if you're from Washington, you know who Jake is. You know the Marshes Museum.
Yeah, and we're not like PhD scholars, fancy journalists. We're just regular guys just making a podcast. We're
just here and queer, and you're gonna have to get used to it. If you don't like the words water canyons and espresso, then stop listening. Get off our podcast.
Yeah, it might not be for you.
Because in the words of Trixie and Katya, this is our show, not yours.
Boom. But if you do like us, please give us a follow on wherever you like and 5 stars wherever you listen.
Shout out to our one UK. We have a United Kingdom listener. And I think a couple Canadians out there.
Yeah, you guys are amazing.
You guys are amazing. You guys are generous with your time.
Yep, and I want you guys to know that here in the United States, we're not doing okay.
We're not doing so well over here, so thanks for checking in on us. It's more like, should you need us, we need you. Don't forget about us over here.
Yep, not all of us are happy with the state of the United States right now.
We got fascism. We got bad baseball.
Oh, don't even talk about baseball right now. I can't. The Mariners were so close.
Yep.
Mariners were so close to finally making it to the championship, and they didn't.
At this point, it's like, we gotta have the little things, and that was something that even I briefly was allowing myself to get hope. I was allowing myself to be hopeful. I was like, this is exciting. It feels like we're gonna win, and all hopes and dreams were crushed and lost last night.
Yeah, my hopes and dreams were crushed. I was so on the bandwagon of the Mariners. I was going to get a Naylor jersey because Naylor's my favorite. He's just, I don't know if you saw.
Is Naylor the one with the bob or the sparkly shoes?
The sparkly shoes.
Oh, I saw. With the helmet when he jumped.
And got hit in the head?
Yeah.
He did a little Mario hop and jump, like.
Yeah, mad hops. I think he just wanted to show off the shoes.
Yeah. I mean, if I had those shoes, I would too. No, I'd keep them in a closet probably, but that's just not my style.
He definitely jumped when he was supposed to duck, and even I, as a completely just absolutely no knowledge on baseball whatsoever, I said, wasn't he supposed to go down?
But then it prevented the other teams from getting, throwing the ball and getting the first runner out.
Yeah, he took a I think a penalty for the team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but also right before that, the announcer guys were talking and they're like, oh, here comes Naylor, the second slowest in the league.
Damn.
I was like, okay, he's my favorite.
I love that. He's really good at, keeping his foot on base and leaning out and, catching the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Some flexible boys on this team this year.
He's Canadian. Maybe he's our Canadian listener. Naylor, is it you?
No.
Are you out there, Naylor?
That's a stretch. Speaking of flexible.
Well, just to cite my sources, an article from The Stranger, local Seattle newspaper, called Phantoms of Beacon Hill, and the South Seattle Emerald, and Seattle Terrors, Atlas Obscura, The Daily, and a homemade website by this man who was very involved in this story called Comet Lodge Cemetery Desecrations.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm very intrigued.
And so if you can't tell, after this I'll be taking you to a cemetery.
I had a feeling it was going to be a cemetery.
And I even downloaded a ghost translating app. So maybe, I don't know how good ghost translating apps are. It's not the advanced technology that, the ghost hunters use. What's his name? The Las Vegas guy.
Oh my god, Zach Baggins or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So it's not that good, but we'll see if we get anything.
These people are just using cat toys these days on the internet.
Really?
Literally, I've seen people put down a cat toy that has to be it's a light, goes off if you touch it, and people have been using those.
Okay. So, our story. I'm going to just start off with a little snippet. In the early 2000s, a woman tried to sell her house, but she had no takers. And it's not because the house is in disarray or an undesirable neighborhood. It's because of well-known ghosts that also live in her home. Her home is in Beacon Hill, Seattle, Washington. For years, the residents of this neighborhood have reported flickering lights, dogs snarling at empty corners, children's voices echoing in the night. There's stories of spirits playing hide and seek, dolls moving from room to room, and then the sound of like children rummaging through like toy chests that no longer exist.
Classic ghost signs.
And this is because this part of Beacon Hill sits on top of Comet Lodge Cemetery.
I am pretty positive most of Seattle sits on haunted land and cemeteries.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
Okay. So now we're going way back to the 1800s. So on September 14th, 1851, a group of pioneers or colonizers arrived via boat on Alki Beach, and their family settled in Georgetown. So I just want to acknowledge that this is the land of the Duwamish people, who are part of the coastal Chehalis tribes of the Pacific Northwest. They were the first people, but the Maple family came, and other like white families also came, and they were just like, oh yeah, this is chill. This is our home now. And then in 1880, the Maple family decided that they wanted to start burying their friends and family in what we now know as Comet Lodge Cemetery. And Samuel Maple was the first white guy to be buried there. I'm saying first white guy because apparently white people also were like, oh, hey, the Duwamish tribe is burying their people here. We also want to bury our people here. And the reality was that this was actually like sacred tribal land. Duwamish tribal councilman Ken Workman said that though the Duwamish were known for actually placing their dead in trees, they also practiced earth burials, especially after settlers arrived with their devastating diseases. Mm-hmm. And the Comet Lodge Cemetery began as a likely burial place of local Duwamish people whose graves have since been desecrated and forgotten. Before Seattle settlers began burying their dead there, the local Indigenous population was already calling that area sacred land.
And this is in Georgetown at this point?
So this is in Beacon Hill, but they settled, the Maple family settled in Georgetown and started to build up from Georgetown. And they found like this plot of empty land up in Beacon Hill, and they were probably like, oh, this is like far enough away that might be good to bury dead people.
Won't upset our crop soil with the rotting.
Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, and there's already some dead people here, so might as well just add to the dead people.
I mean, I see where the logic is coming from. The respect, however, completely non-existent.
Yeah, we're missing that part.
Yeah, okay.
We don't have any original ideas, you know?
I wonder if the Comet Bar in Capitol Hill has anything to do with this.
Ooh, we should go there and ask them.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so then now it's 1895, and the Comet Lodge officially became a cemetery. The Maple family just completely took it over. They're like, this is our land now. And just, it spanned for 5 acres, and just, we're like, Duwamish people, sorry, we own this. Just overwriting all of the history and stories from the Duwamish tribe.
Completely whitewashing the history that was already there.
Yes, exactly. And so the thought was that this plot of land could be the final resting place for the community forever. 5 acres, that's a lot. So they're like, yeah, this will last eternity. We'll never be
5 acres for, oh my god.
We'll never be able to fill up this many dead people. I mean, this is in the 1800s. Mm-hmm. So they probably never imagined what the population of Seattle would eventually be.
Yeah, and then measles hits, and then they're like, I think we're running out of room.
Everyone's dying.
But that's not factual. I was just making a joke. Oh. Continue.
Yes. So it actually eventually became a cemetery to many like blue collar workers who worked in the mill and Rainier Brewery, just because the cemetery was actually really hard to reach especially from Georgetown. It's perched on the top of a steep hill, Beacon Hill. So a lot of people were like, oh, we don't want to make the trek to bury our dead up there. That is way too much. Like, it's dusty. Now it's full of, like, horse shit. There's flies everywhere. And it's Washington, so rain or shine, mud, no. The wealthy people were like, we're not doing it. So that's why, like, a lot of blue-collar people were forced to then bury their dead up there, because they're like, well, this is all we got.
Mm-hmm.
But, so, forever only lasted a few decades.
Yeah. 5 acres sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. And so then, even though, like, the burials at Comet Lodge stopped in the early 1900s, it is said that over 450 colonizers are buried there, along with an unknown number of Duwamish tribe people. So, that's a lot.
Yeah. Over 5+ decades.
Yeah. I think, well, no, I don't know.
Oh, I'm mixing up, like, the 5 acres. But they were using it from the 1800s to the early 1900s?
Yeah, so in, like, I think...
At least 100 years.
Around 1880? No, to 1908.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty lazy. I wouldn't, like, if I were to die and the only cemetery was, like, up at the top of the hill, I wouldn't want you guys to have to deal with carrying my body up a hill.
That's what horses are for. And a hearse.
But if it's muddy...
Alright, I guess I've never tried to drag a body up a hill in the mud. I guess you're right.
Yeah, it just doesn't sound like a good time.
No, it does not. This makes me think of, like, what's the episode with SpongeBob and the health inspector, and they go to bury him in the graveyard at night and it's raining. Oh, yeah, that one. Smitty Jenkins. Or
Smitty Von Jenkinsworth.
something Jenkinsworth. Okay. That's 2 different episodes, but same energy.
Yeah. I've always said the day is not complete without a SpongeBob reference, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Oh, so then the cemetery was sold for $1. So 5 acres for $1.
What?
Yeah. Right? I mean, this is 1908.
Right. But still, that seems whack.
Yeah. Right?
They knew the ghosts were there already.
Yeah, I mean, it probably wasn't. They're like, what am I going to do with a bunch of, like, with a land full of dead people? You can't really do much with it. So, the Georgetown undertaker bought it. And then in 1912, he sold the land to Dr. Herman R. Corson for $10. Made a good come up in that.
Yeah, $9 whole.
And then Corson decided to actually chop the cemetery in half, selling the northern half of the cemetery to developers.
Hey, great. Well, if you live over there, I'm sorry about your ghosts.
Yeah. And so then after Corson died, the title to the cemetery was passed down to family members, but all of the burial records were lost. And so for much of the 20th century, Comet Lodge Cemetery was, like, forgotten and just overtaken by nature. Like, nothing really happened with it. It was just a plot of land that was overgrown and empty.
That's sad.
Mm-hmm. Especially, well, like, his part. Corson's part. Okay. The part that he didn't sell.
Part he didn't sell.
Mm-hmm. So now we're in the 1930s, and the county became owners of the land due to foreclosure. King County didn't know what to do with the land, and it was reported that we have personally, this is a quote, we have personally investigated the cemetery and found it to be in deplorable conditions. Graves were sunken in, tombstones scattered here and there, and the brush has overgrown everything with the exception of a few footpaths. And so the county was like, well, okay, there's a lot of garbage. Nature took over. This is just too much. We're just going to leave it alone. And then
that sounds like Seattle.
Yes, it does. And then in 1980, the city decided to demolish part of the cemetery to make room for 11 houses and a dog park.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. And this was in the 80s, and we're in the 80s now. So they were just like, meh.
Like, it's been long enough.
Mm-hmm.
Surely it's all turned to dust.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, like, they removed the headstones, and the city claimed ignorance, despite a site that claimed that in 1954 it included their knowledge of the cemetery. So in 1954, the city was like, yes, we acknowledge the cemetery's here. But then in the 80s, they were like, what? We had no idea.
Oh my god, we forgot.
Yeah. And even a guy who was employed in the construction of developing the area said he was told by the city that the headstones were for taking. And if the city did move the bodies, I don't know where, or I don't know why they would have just left the headstones. So this guy's implying, like
they didn't move the body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you move bodies and not headstones?
Yeah.
And then be like, oh, construction workers, take some headstones.
That is wild, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So in the late 1880s, a Beacon Hill resident named Don Kipper claimed that he actually bought the ceremony from Corzon's descendants, and he talked about how he was going to restore the land.
He bought the cemetery?
Yeah, he said that he bought the cemetery from the descendants of like Dr. Herman Corzon.
So he's like, I own this land, actually.
And this is after like those 11 houses are already up. And he was like, I'm going to put in a community garden to feed the neighborhood. And so,
is this where the fucking garden patch is by Jefferson?
I don't know. I've never been there.
Okay, I'm really, really excited.
We're going to find out.
Because I lived in Beacon Hill for a little bit. And I'm like...
You could have been walking through a graveyard and just not known it. Because
technically, Jefferson's not a dog park. But people do take their dogs there sometime. I am so excited to find out where this is.
Yeah. So...
Are we talking Beacon or Belltown? You said... Beacon. Yeah, Beacon. Okay, right, because they're in Georgetown. Got it.
Yeah. So Seattle, the city, was like, okay, cool, yeah. Kipper, go ahead, take it. This is your problem now. These 11 houses were built, but the rest was just like a total mess. So
clearly they were just waiting for someone else to take responsibility. They were like, oh, we literally don't want to deal with it.
Yep. So, however, building a community garden was not what Kipper had in mind. So without any like government authority, he brought in a bulldozer, destroyed trees and the graves that were left there. And the people that lived in those 11 houses were just like, what are you doing? Like, we're not okay with this. And so then a cease and desist order came upon Kipper, and he apologized, but then vanished.
Wow.
And so then in 1997 now, we have a man that is knocking on doors of homes in Beacon Hill, telling everyone that their house has been built over the graves of children. Most people didn't even realize that there was a graveyard nearby because it was so overgrown. And the Rainier Valley Historical Society has documentation that Babyland was the designated section. It's actually called Babyland. A designated section for child burials was located in the northern portion of the 5 acres, which was the half that Corzon claimed to have sold to developers.
Oh my god.
So this isn't the 11 houses that the city built.
This is not the knock you want to get at your door. Hi, you live on Babyland. Yep. Dead Babyland.
Yep. Because, yeah, I don't know if it's still, I don't know much about graveyards. I don't know if it's still a thing where they have, like, a portion that's just solely dedicated to, like, babies that...
I think a lot of times there are, like, kids sections.
Is it still called Babyland?
I've never heard of it being called Babyland before at any cemetery.
I feel like, I don't know. I don't like it.
I don't like it either. It just sounds like a really dark, like, theme park, or like a happy theme park until you know the context.
Yeah. I just keep thinking, like, baby dolls, but I know that it's actually real babies.
Yeah. I mean, okay. This is getting dark, but if we're talking about dead babies and ghosts and, like, spirits and what their capability of, like, harm and haunting would be, I might take babies over, like, you know, angry, violent white men's ghosts.
That's true, because the kids just want to, like, play.
The Indigenous ghosts have every right to be angry, so that is a fate we'll have to reap sow that seed when the time comes. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Who are, like, okay, I'm jumping ahead, but, like, modern day descendants, like, who owns the land now?
I'm just going to get to that.
Let's go. I'm so excited.
And so then we come to a man named John Dickinson. And people believe that he's actually the one that went around knocking on people's doors, claiming that they lived on top of Babyland. But there's no, like, nothing's been proven about that. So Dickinson went to the city of Seattle expressing his desire to restore the land, claiming he was a descendant of people who were buried there. And he also claimed to have records that indicated 400 grave sites at the Comet Lodge.
Wow.
So he also wrote a letter to the mayor of Seattle at the time, Norman Rice, saying that he, Dickinson, represented the interests of the 9 homeowners who lived atop the cemetery. And on behalf of the homeowners, Dickinson and the city of Seattle were asked to reimburse the owners the value of their homes because they were not aware that they had been built on top of a formal burial ground. Then he received a letter back denying that anyone had been buried there. So the city and the mayor were like, nope, we're denying it again. We denied it in the 80s and we're proven wrong.
And in the 1950s, they had acknowledged it? Jesus Christ.
And so, yeah, and then when they were called out in the 80s, denied it. Now they're being called out in the 90s, they're denying it. So...
It sounds like you could just take a shovel over there and improve it.
Yeah. Yeah, Seattle was not going to do anything that regarded acknowledging the cemetery. So Dickinson decided to take matters into his own hands and just wanted to clean up the cemetery. But then he ended up cutting down a tree that then fell and injured a city worker.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. So the city banned him from the cemetery.
Oh, no.
Cemetery that they claim is not a cemetery.
Right, okay, but they banned him from the... Did they call it a cemetery when they banned him?
I don't think so. They were just like, we're banning you from, like, this city-owned land.
This plot of land. Right. That totally doesn't have dead bodies in it.
And so Dickinson decided to make a whole website dedicated to the cemetery and the shady shit that the city was pulling.
Honestly, good for Dickinson. He sounds like he's the only person who's actually trying to do something about this.
Yeah. And I got it wrong when I was first citing the name of the website. It's actually called Dates, Decisions, and Deceptions.
Okay. Triple D.
Triple D. So I'm not sure how reliable this man is. I don't know if he is a descendant. I don't know if he was the man knocking on doors talking about Babyland. I don't know if all of these pictures and things that he has on his website are true. The whole website is literally in, like, Comic Sans font.
I honestly love that. That makes me believe him more.
Yeah. And if you think in the night, like, building a website in the 90s must have been really hard.
What's it called again? Dates, deception.
Dates, decisions, and deceptions.
Decisions.
Yeah, and the website's still up, so. And he had records from 1876 to 2003. And the photos on that he has, like, photos of, like, burial records and photos of the land, like, before it was split in half. But the photos were really teeny, and then when I clicked on them, there was, like, no domain. So, and then he also had, like, old news articles from back in, like, the early 1900s, but those also didn't lead to anywhere, unfortunately. So
Damn it.
that's why I'm like, I don't know how reliable this guy is, but I feel like if you put that much effort into something, like, you get some credibility, right?
Yeah, I mean, he seems to have, if anything else, a passion for this cause.
Yeah. So there's also on this website, there is a copy of the letter he wrote. In the letter it says, in 1990, the gravestones of William Dickinson, his descendant, and Samuel Bevan were found near the gutter on South Graham Street. The city, claiming that the graveyard no longer exists, tells the curious that the stones are for the taking and there are no bodies within, and that is a construction site that is not finished clearing the markers. So he's claiming, like, my ancestor's headstone was just, like...
Discarded on, like, the side of the road.
And it's, like... So if you got rid of the bodies, like, where are they? Like, that's my...
Yeah, like, where are the bones?
Mm-hmm. So apparently this guy was kind of at it for a while. In the 80s, he actually wrote a letter, and then he posted the letter on his website. No, wait, sorry. This is a letter that he received from the mayor of Seattle. It says, "Dear John, the city of Seattle has no interest in the Comet Lodge Cemetery. I hope this helps. Thank you for contacting the Citizens Service Bureau. Any apologies or resolutions to the citizens' complaints would cost the city too much money that it doesn't have."
Yeah, because they're giving it all to the cops.
And that was when he was asking about, like, doing something, like restoring it.
Right.
And they were just like,
No.
"We got no interest in it." Oh, and it's, "We have no interest in it. ...
Wow, full ellipses.
Yeah.
What a cunt.
In the letter it says, "We have no interest in the Comet Lodge Cemetery." So they, I guess, now are acknowledging.
Yeah, so you called it a cemetery. Exactly what I was going to say. I was like, he literally said we have no interest in it. We know it's there, but, like, let it lie.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
So then Dickinson ended up working with Washington State Cemetery Board to keep further construction from happening on that land. Mm-hmm. They ended up rescuing some headstones, and then he even opened a virtual graveyard where loved ones could search online for records pertaining to their ancestors.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And the city eventually was like, "Okay, we will restore some of these headstones," and they put them in aesthetically pleasing locations.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what that means, but they just restored some headstones. I think placed them in random spots. I don't know. We'll find out.
I was about to say, I know what we're going to be looking for.
Mm-hmm. So now, in comes a group of high school students. So in 2002, a group of high school students led an effort to restore the cemetery. So they were collecting oral records from residents who had loved ones in the Comet Lodge. They were using Dickinson's virtual graveyard, and they wanted to restore the cemetery, but also, like, these are all probably, like, white descendants, so we're talking about restoring the cemetery to the colonizers.
Yeah.
Just throwing that in there.
There's been no talk of, like, acknowledging the indigenous people buried there. There's no recognition of the Duwamish tribe in this. They're just like, oh yeah, we care about our crusty, dusty white bones. Mm-hmm. Having the names attached to the bodies. Yeah, a lot of this is, yeah, I mean, clearly it's white supremacy or white.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Privilege and all the things. Yeah, I'm really curious to go see if there's anything there that acknowledges the Duwamish people.
Yeah. But so after the high schoolers got into it, the city was like, okay, here is $100,000 towards cleaning up the graveyard.
You're fucking kidding me. Mm-mm. Wow. Mm-hmm. See, this just proves that, you know, further, like, disrupting the politicians and reminding them, and never going away. Yep. It does work. It does something. Mm-hmm. I mean, again, probably a bunch of white high school students, but they got that much money?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
After being told for 30 plus years that we want nothing to do with this, that it doesn't exist?
Yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And it was all because, like, these high school kids saw Dickinson's, like, virtual graveyard and were like, oh, they, I think, recognized names. And we're like, these are our ancestors. And so, yeah, it's, you know, amazing what high schoolers can do. It's a powerful group, and you also don't want to piss high schoolers off. They're
children of the future.
So they made gravestones that commemorated their ancestors that were buried there, even though they're not placed in the exact locations, because we don't know the exact locations. It's probably under houses.
Yeah.
And today, houses still sit on top of the graveyard. There is just a small section with the headstones that mark the existence of the Comet Lodge, and it's about like a dozen gravestones compared to the well over 400 souls that are resting there.
Wow.
We got 12.
I do think I had a client tell me about this, that they live in Beacon Hill and their house is on top of a graveyard.
Oh my goodness. I wonder if they have any good ghost stories.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive. I won't say her name, but a longtime client of mine recently moved to Beacon Hill and was telling me about how, like, the entire neighborhood they live in is haunted and, like, on top of a graveyard.
I would love to talk to her.
I will be asking some questions next time I see you for your bang tram.
Mm-hmm. Tell us some spooky ghost stories.
Yeah, like, I'm pretty positive this has got to be the exact same neighborhood.
Yeah. And that's where we're gonna go.
Okay.
And you will get updates via the gram.
Y'all, follow us on Instagram should you need us podcast.
Well, that's our show. I'm Harley.
And I'm Alex.
And don't forget to read the signs, dodge the curses, question everything, and laugh loud.
And remember, should you need us, we'll be here.
Let's go fucking hunt some ghosts, bitch.